Alright, it's December the 10th, 2023. I have a little time here, and I'm going to, I've got something going on here I don't understand. Okay. It's December the 10th, 2023. I'm making this video because tomorrow, let me move the clock. Tomorrow, I'm going to put it at noon because that just seems the appropriate thing to do. Midday and all. Is 12:11. And our friends in high places, they like to play their little games on certain days. And they're making the X or the cross in the heavens, as above, so below. Now we know, watching the past event, orchestrated events, that's how I'm going to reference it, like on the September 11th, they had the moon in Taurus, while the sun was right here between Virgo and Leo. They're marking the end of the mutable cross, moving into the fixed cross. The dates are 3/11, 6/11, 9/11, and 12/11. And the Vatican, they do all their ceremonial ritual things when the sun is in Ophiuchus, or the moon right here as well, the sun or the moon. Now, the Pope came to America, I want to say it was 2016, and he began the reset rituals. He done them all over the world. He went all over the world and done these big reset rituals. Reset with Jesus thing. You're going to reset your life with Christ. Was the speech here in America. I'm not sure about, I'm sure it changed from country to country, but they were gathering everybody together, especially the youth. But they do their rituals opposite of Taurus and Ophiuchus. So 12/11 is just a red flag to me. It's a day I would watch out for. Very concerning. Let's take a look at where everybody's at and going to be. Right off the bat, Mercury is trying to come out of retrograde. Or is he going in? Let me do this. Let me back up a few days. Because I know, no, he's not. He's going into retrograde. So he's starting to move in the up position. It's moving back to 10. Yes. Because he's going to go retrograde. Yeah. So good thing I'm getting this one out now. I haven't put up a video in over a month. I'll explain that later in the video. Mars also, well, the moon's going to move there tomorrow. Tomorrow. Let's check out the moon. Definitely in Scorpio, which Ophiuchus is just the upper house of Scorpio. Will the moon catch? No, it'll be on the 12th before they collide. Let's see if we can pull it to where. Now, I've got it in American time, but this could very well push right over into European time for the Vatican. But who knows where they're going to do their little rituals at. Everything seems to be focused on America because of the eclipses. That's what they do, eclipse rituals. So you have Mars in his own house of Scorpio. That's the feminine aspect of the root chakra. I call it frozen earth. I need a drink. Sorry, I had to pause everything. I got all choked up. Let's move this over here. It keeps interfering with the other part of it. Oh. Actually, let's just take it out for a while. Mars, that root chakra, It's in its own house of sexuality, friendship, that kind of thing. It is currently combust of the sun. So not a lot of Mars aggression there, or just weakened, a really weakened state, almost like usurped. Mercury, they call it being in standstill, even though it's in motion, because it makes an arc to go backwards. Talk about being in the mind of the Sagittarian, the philosopher, is what that is, the mind of the philosopher. Going retrograde there. So going to have some fixing to move into some ass backwards ideology. Like the whole world's there already, right? We're already in ass backwards ideology. Saturn maintaining in, I have to put this back up, maintaining in Aquarius, in that crown chakra, where you really want it to be. The time to do what we need to do, being as Saturn rules time, is while he's in the house of Aquarius, not retrograde. Jupiter moving into Aries. Jupiter retrograde, thinking outside of the box. It even looks like Uranus is pulling a retrograde as well. So the conscious mind, Uranus, see if I can grab that little dot. Ooh, I did it. Still currently in Aries, has yet to move into Taurus. We will talk about Uranus moving into Taurus. Let's just get through the planets first. Jupiter in the root chakra, masculine aspect, ruled by Mars. Jupiter is expansion, empire. Jupiter, thinking outside of the box. Jupiter can be very imperialistic here. Kind of a coup, a takeover. This is the empire in the house of literally war. Which Mars is a bit combust and somewhat debilitated right now. Venus in Libra in its own house. Are you retrograde? No, good. So we've got, which this is really good because you have Venus aspecting or trining Saturn in the air signs. So you have Venus and Saturn both in the upper chakras. Mercury in the lower chakra of fire, the navel chakra. You have Mars in water, Jupiter, Uranus, and Mercury in fire, Saturn and Venus in air. The moon, the sun also in water, and the moon moving into water. Neptune is in the water of Pisces currently, and Pluto in Earth of Capricorn. Let's talk about this Uranus. Because when Uranus moves into Taurus, we see, which is happening in 2024. There's a lot going to go down in 2024. So we're going to start with Uranus because other than talking about today is a day to watch out for. You never know what's coming down with these demented peoples, these root chakra peoples. That's what they seem to live under anyway. Our money's going to change in 2024. The whole world. They're going to really push towards a cashless society. Get ready for that. They'll do it in increments. They're not going to drop the bomb on everybody all at once. But the economy is the bomb. That's just the best way I can say it. Everything, all their predictive programming, everything they've showed us, even IPEG 02, the shit hits the fan as soon as the economy, the stock market drops. The stock market will make a huge crash. Corporate America is falling apart, and it's going to kill the economy. And then the planes start flying. And all the propaganda is being whipped out by the television, just eating the minds out of the masses. And everything's going to happen. 2024 is going to be huge. All cards are on the table. They're playing every card they can. So it's always good to keep a heads up. But money's going to change in a lot of ways. And actually, they're using it to change us. We have to change the way we think about money. Change the way we were making it, the way we use it, the way we save it, the whole concept of it. They want to rewrite it. I keep getting choked up. I need to pause again. Dealing with Uranus, this is the conscious mind. That's why I said it's the way we think about money. Because the way we look at money, every aspect of it's going to change for us. Taurus is about working hard and making money. Taurus is about saving for the future. Each of the earth signs are the builders. They're about creating things, building things, the expansion of an economy, of your own wealth. The difference between the three are the way they spend money. Virgo will spend money on themselves. A Capricorn will spend the money on somebody else. A Taurus will spend money on somebody else or on themselves, but they have a motive for spending it. They're generally very frugal. Taurus is being very frugal with your money. You save it for the future. Taurans are worried about the future. They'll sacrifice today to have better tomorrow. But here, a Tauran will say they're going to buy a car. They might buy a car for you, or they might buy a car for themselves. Kind of a little bit of both Virgo and Capricorn. But it's their motive for doing it. It has to be their decision, their idea, their choice, and they do it to impress. They do it to impress. Tauran has a little bit of an ego there. Or insecurity, really, because if you feel the need to impress somebody, then you have a lack of self-esteem. Just be yourself. Don't try to impress. Just you do you. That's how we're kind of supposed to be. Be yourself. Know thyself. As Matt would say, worry about yourself. Right now, we need to be worried about what the crazies are going to do tomorrow. It is the 10th right now, but by the time I get this uploaded, it will probably be tomorrow. I've got to start work here in a little bit, so I don't have long to pump this out. I actually made another video, and I've tried 3 different times to upload it, and it keeps getting rejected. I don't know what's going on. I've tried to edit it. I've tried to take out. Don't have anything copyright. I'm violating community guidelines, whatever the hell that is, because they're never specific on it. But it's refusing to let me upload it. I'm tired of trying to edit it and figure out what it is they don't like about it. Maybe I'll upload it on Brighteon. But I gave up on that video, so I'm making this one. So if I do upload the other one, there might be a little overlapping on it, even though the themes are completely different. That video is entitled The Illumination of Consciousness. So I probably won't get into that in this video, but I will address that topic later in this week. So expect another video out this week. Today, I wanted to go through today. I'm actually going to do a separate video on 2024 and what all we've got to expect. So it can just be a standalone 2024 video. But we will start the year with Saturn where it is now. Jupiter where it is now, which Jupiter's backing up. Is it going to make it back into Pisces? I don't think so. No. That's not going to happen. It's going to remain in Aries. I want to change the star lore here. This is just so much more accurate as to where things actually are and who they actually are. Much, much better. On the heel of Ophiuchus, very interesting. Very interesting. The serpent holder. And on the bow here, shooting at the heart of the scorpion or the heart of the eagle. We know this is the eagle. Funny, in this one, the water of life is flowing into the mouth of the fish, or the thalamus, Thalem, the lamb, Bethlehem. For those of you who are kind of new around here, the mouth of the fish is fomalhaut. It's the thalamus in the brain. You can't get to the pineal gland without going through the thalamus. The trinity would be the thalamus, the pituitary, and the pineal gland. No man comes to the Father but by me. Fomalhaut is the lamb. It's the Star of Bethlehem. It's the real Star of Bethlehem. And has nothing to do with that thing that intertwined triangles. That's water and fire. That's the battle of fire and ice. That happened as we left Aries and went into Pisces. You had fire triangle up and water triangle down. That's when that occurred. Battle of fire and ice. Actually, because it was the frozen wall, it happened over here. The fire and the ice here. Which is the fall equinox, the winter solstice. The winter solstice. Which brings me to my next topic. I'm going to come back to this, but I want to stop and talk about something. Hold on. I want to show you something. All right. I want to talk about, let's do it this way. Mutable. Fixed. These are supposed to be straight lines, so just use your imagination. And cardinal. These are the three crosses. These are the three aeons. Each aeon is made up of 4 constellations. Right now, we are in a mutable age. Right here. In this mutable age, the earth wobbles. And I'm not going to get into the argument of flat earth or round earth. Because in my understanding, it's all three. It's all three. It's flat, it's round, and it's hollow. It's an eyeball. And so it's all three. But for perspective's sake, let me show you something else. Keep these 3 in mind. Because we're in a mutable aeon, a mutable age. But we're moving to a fixed age that will take us into a cardinal age. So I want to show you this. Again, for the single vision flat earthers, it's okay. I'm going to show you the same thing on the flat circle, alright? But we're in a mutable age, and the earth wobbles. So when the sun and the moon, they make these the magnetics is off by 23.5 degrees. And then you have 66.5 degrees that makes up the 90-degree arc for 1/4 around. So we get the seasons because of this. Okay, we get the seasons because of this. And right now we're in a mutable age. In a mutable age, the earth freaking wobbles. And the seasons can become erratic. When we are in a fixed age, this magnetic is going to move back in alignment with polar north. They won't be on separate axes. So we won't have seasons like we did before. You'll have zones. You'll have the frozen zones on either pole, and it'll turn into like just a paradise at Middle Earth, to where, like in the Garden of Eden, like before the flood, and then that develops into what you call a cardinal earth. Think of the giant trees and the giants who used to roam the earth, and the dinosaurs and everything else. That you have this growing season that's year-round when you have a stable, fixed earth system. But right now, we wobble. And even the Bible talks about this wobble. I'll get to that in a second. Same thing here. You can just look at this as, just use the UN map behind it and consider it flat earth. But it's the same thing. You have our equator, which is in alignment with the magnetic north. And that's why we get these eclipses, and why when they cross each other, they make these, they come at angles. Everything is coming at an angle. It's coming at that 23-degree angle, 23.45 degrees, and then this is the remainder of the 66.65 or 55 degrees. It's moving, so this number actually changes. But this is your magic 23. But it's what gives us our 4 seasons. So the whole planet experiences 4 different seasons. And a fixed Earth, where they're up perpendicular with each other, we won't have the wobble. So instead of having seasons, you'll have all seasons at one time. It'll be winter in the end zones. It'll be spring and fall. Well, a spring, really, there will kind of be no fall. Into just summer along the equator. And it will change ecliptic patterns. But we are in a mutable age, which is an age of transmutive change. This is supposed to happen. Let's move on. This is Isaiah chapter 24. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. The Lord, the ruler, makes the earth empty, waste, and turns it upside down. Magnetics turn it upside down. Just think on that for a second. The Lord of magnetics. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priests, servants, so with his master, so with the maid, so with the mistress, so with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The Lord shall be the land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word. This symbol. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languish and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws of nature, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. When the poles shift and you have a magnetic shield failure, magnetics is what creates our dome, creates our atmosphere, and protects us from what they call solar radiation, which defines genetics on this planet. And they are currently in a mutable stage because we're already in this. This is happening. It's been happening for 2,000 years from when we moved into a mutable age. The earth is moved from its axis. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate, and the inhabitants of the earth are burned. Those shields come down, the heat turns up. Now we are in an age of water, Pisces, moving into an age of air, Aquarius. To move from water to air, you have to turn up the heat. You turn up the heat on the water to turn it into vapor. Transmutation. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of the tabrets cease, the noise of them that rejoiceth endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. This word is interchangeable with Babylon. Babylon means confusion. Every house is shut up, and that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone, and the city is left desolate. The city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. Major earthquakes. They shall lift up their voice. They shall sing for the majesty of the Lord. They shall cry aloud from the sea. The sea is waters. Those are peoples. Wherefore glorify ye the Lord in the fires, even the name of the Lord God of Israel in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost parts of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously, yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. It shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. Magnetics down, windows open. All gates are open. This was the verse that came to mind when I tried to tell you, I really don't need to tell you what to do. The Spirit is within you, tells you what to do. But don't be afraid, because that shuts communication from your higher self down. It throws you into the lower chakras. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You can be in the middle of a damned. Look at how many people survived Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They were right in the middle of it. Just some will survive and some will not. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you try to run from it, if you flee from the noise, you're just going to fall into the pit. So just stand. If you're urged from within that you need to relocate, then relocate. Listen to that, your higher voice, not me or somebody else, because each of us have a different path. I can only know mine. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly, shifting. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. We're already doing that. That's what a mutable age is. It reels to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and they shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days they shall be visited. The moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem before his ancients gloriously. When this is finished, after the shift happens, we go into a fixed earth. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias, or Isaias, truly shall first come and restore all things. So what we see as a destruction is actually a restoration, because we're in the wobble stage. We're wobbling back and forth. The earth is very unstable, and it becomes more unstable as a woman in travail. When a woman is in travail, the closer she gets to giving birth, the closer her contractions. They can start out at an hour apart or 30 minutes apart, and then they get down to 5 minutes apart, and you know the time is close. That you're ready for the new creation, the new birth, the new world, the new age, the new aeon. We're just not moving into a new age, we're moving into a new aeon. A whole new 4 ages of air, earth, fire, and water. It always starts with air and earth. Heaven and earth, in that order. Heaven, earth, fire, water. And that's where we're moving to. That's what's happening. And it's like when the woman's in contraction and you get down to those last 5 minutes apart or 3 minutes apart. Those can last for hours, those 3 minutes apart. It can just go on and on. But then, in the twinkling of an eye, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, there's a baby. It just, when it does happen, it happens quickly. And the birth happens quickly and all at once. And as soon as the birth is done, joy. There's just joy all around. The pain stops for the mother. She's instantly relieved. The baby's the one crying now. The new birth, the new world is crying now because it's coming to a new world, back into the physical world. So right now, we're in wobble world. Everything's about the X. They're making, but we're moving to this world. And it's stability. It's a stable earth, stable water, stable fire, and stable air, or heaven. This earth, wobble earth, is ruled by the prince of the power of the air, the first heaven, under the dome, Mercury. Mercury rules air here. Aquarius rules air here. And Libra rules air here. And cardinal earth, like I said, this is where we get the big trees. There were giants in the earth in that day. And after that, when the sons of God, heaven, come into the daughters of men, earth, and bear them children. Because you get these crossover of 3 degrees. To move from one age to another is 3 degrees. And that's, each degree is times 72 years. So that is 216 years. But this time is cut short. We're told this. We're told this time is cut short or there would be no flesh saved. And it all happens in the twinkling of an eye, which is the third eye. That's the eye that must twinkle, is the third eye. When it twinkles, you change, and when you change, the world around you automatically changes. Now, and we're going to be a different species. And here we have the Son of God. Here we have the Son of Man. They're two different things. There's a big confusion about that. When I read the New Testament, I'm literally reading two different Jesuses. The black and white words, those are what I call Mercury Jesus. And the red words, those belong to Thalem. Those belong to Fomalhaut. They don't come from Mercury. They come from Saturn and Fomalhaut. They come from Aquarius. The second heaven, which is the zodiac. The third heaven, cardinal, those are all the other constellations. The 44 above and the 44 below. Now, I have thought about, does Under the Dome include the 44 constellations below the zodiac? So you could have 44 here. And you could have 44 above over here. And it turned me off. It erased everything. Well, you'll have 44 over here. And the stable Earth, the zodiac, it has the 12. And Gemini is split into two houses, so it's 13. Or you can count our sun as the 13th sign. And that makes 101. We're in University 101. Now, with all that being said, I want to talk just a minute about Christmas. And it being on the winter solstice. Let me adjust this for a second. Or rather, it should be on the winter solstice, but they keep adjusting the clock. And it's just out of sync right now. But Santa Claus is the claustrum, right? It's in the brain, in the back part, as you're coming into the surrounding of the pineal gland, the claustrum, Santa Claus. He comes down the chimney. The chimney's full of fire. It's the spinal cord and all of that. He fills your stockings with Amanita muscaria mushrooms was the original thing. Before the tree, you had stockings on by the fireplace. You had stockings with Amanita by the fireplace. And so at the winter solstice, why the winter solstice? This ritual could only happen in an age of mutable age of wobble earth. So we have a time that there is more darkness than there is sunlight. The sun regulates serotonin and melatonin in the brain. It's your clock. It's your internal clock. It tells you when to wake up and go to sleep. The rooster crows right before the sun comes up. There are animals that are nocturnal and animals that are daylight animals, like us. And so it regulates that. And when you, how do I explain this? How many of you, I know a lot of you have that have been here for a while, watched Lodge 49. And the girl goes to England and the woman there blindfolds her. And she's walked around blindfolded. And it activated her pineal gland. We're told about 3 days of darkness. And it activates the pineal gland. It has, when the sun is no longer there to regulate, the pineal gland takes over. When the sun is no longer there to regulate, Saturn takes over. It becomes the guiding light. It's the inner light in your head. Your light within, the real you. So, I would like to suggest to you, a lot of you have asked me, how do I activate my pineal gland? Well, every age there is a teaching. In Gemini it's Hermetics, and Taurus it's Freemasonry, and Aries it's Kabbalah, and Pisces it's religion, it's Christianity, it's all of them. They teach how to activate the pineal gland. For myself, it happened naturally, just the circumstances of my life. But the circumstances quite well mimicked what all of these teachings say, because I had quit eating. I was literally starving myself. I was chasing death. I didn't want to be here. So I just quit eating, but I didn't tell anybody. And I didn't change anything I did. I didn't change my habits or my schedule, nothing. I just went on as normal. I didn't tell anybody, and nobody seemed to notice that I had just literally stopped eating. And I was definitely mourning within. And I had gone through what you would call a humiliation ritual. I was being sexually abused. So it was a lot of being stimulated like tantrically, but you don't have an orgasm. It's that sexual stimulation or sexual frustration. Men would call it blue balls. It hurts. Then you're ready. Most people are looking to relieve it. You can either have an orgasm below, or as above, you can have one above. That life force energy creates in that root chakra, but it must come up the spine, and you work through the chakras. So I was emotionally broken, root chakra. Then I had absolutely no desire to be here anymore. I didn't want anything or any part of this existence. Navel chakra. I was helpless and hopeless. My two power centers of the sun and the moon were useless to me. They couldn't defend me. I couldn't defend myself. There was no escape. I was a prisoner. My heart chakra next was utterly broken. I had no savior, no rescuer. Nobody was coming to help. And the abuse was coming from every angle and every person around me. I was just like a walking victim scapegoat. And I didn't know how. I wasn't even allowed to say no. Just to say no had a punishment of its own. And then my throat chakra, when I just let it all out. I just went out in that cotton field and I just screamed, and this guttural from the essence, from the very root of my being, that I'd had enough. And I just threw myself prostrate, face down in the dirt. And boom! Instantly my pineal gland popped. And that is very much how it goes in a lot of these rituals that they do in the Hermetic Tantric rituals, or the Freemasonry, put you in a coffin for 3 days in the dark ritual. Same difference. Christ says when you pray, you go into your closet. It's your cloister. It's close your eyes. You go in the dark. You go within. You go in the dark. The light has no use except for in the dark. You must turn off the sun, turn off the world, turn off the light, and you can do this. So it's very well, might be as simple as just blindfolding yourself until it happens. Now, me, I keep having these dreams about something happening in the sky, and everybody's pineal gland's going to open at the same time. And it's very much in parallel to the Bible, that in that day I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and daughter will prophesy. The old man will have visions. But also it's called the awakening in the Bible, and that some will awaken to everlasting life, upper chakras, and some to shame and condemnation, lower chakras. When you open the pineal gland, you need to be vibrating from either the heart chakra, the throat chakra, or the crown chakra. You need to be vibrating in those upper chakras. Those are different doors. Those are 6 different doors, because they can open on the masculine side or the feminine side. They can open in heaven on the masculine side, or on earth in the feminine side. You don't want to be caught in those lower chakras, in that Game of Thrones, and that battle of fire and ice, because those doors are not good. That's kind of how we've ended up here. We're in Pisces. We're in the abyss. We've come out of the fire into the flood, into the water, and they're mutable waters. They're raging and roaring. We won't have that on a stable earth where the magnetics are stable with the axis itself. It's going to be a whole different world, because Elias comes to restore all things and set the earth straight, upright. And we won't even remember this world. We won't remember this transmutation, this change. All the tears will be wiped from our eyes. We won't have the suffering and the pain that we do now. We'll be in an upper chakra world. We're going from the navel chakra to the crown chakra. Boom! All in one go. The Bible refers to it as Pentecost, and it happens so many days after Passover. So they actually kind of give us a time frame of when this is going to go down. And I don't like calling out dates. I call out these dates on the 11th because that's what the elite are doing. It's what they've been doing for a long, long time. You get on Stellarium and you start going back and looking at these dates of when they do what they do. When these false flags are all that. Their rituals, their ceremonies, even their little conferences. They're all held on specific days. King Charles' coronation was held on a day that coincides with the WEF. Now, they pick that on purpose. Everything they do is on purpose. But we're moving here. And I, myself, if I don't want to come back here, I hope that I'm out of here. And I don't want to have to come back here. But if I do come back here, I am definitely not coming back to a mutable age. You can put me anywhere else, but I'm tired of the change and the transmutation. I'm a cardinal sign. So everything has a place and everything in its place. I don't like disorder. I've learned to tolerate it a lot more in my old age. I was very obsessed with order as a younger person. Now I just really don't care anymore because it's irrelevant. It doesn't make a difference anymore. I used to be all stressed out and everything. I kind of like a lot of you are from your comments and your questions and stuff. I see much of myself in you. The anxiety of needing to know. But the thing about it is, once you do know, there's nothing left. There's nothing left but the waiting. That's all there is. There's nothing left but waiting. There's nothing to lose and there's nothing to gain. The mystery's over. The mystique is gone. The questions have been answered. There's no big aha, ta-da moment. It's just waiting. And you're waiting for the future. You're waiting for the transmutation to be complete. And that's what's happening. To come into a new world, we must go through these mutable ages. All of you people that are born on that mutable cross, you Pisces, Virgo, mermaids, and you Gemini, Sagittarius, y'all are so necessary. I know you hear me harp a lot about Gemini, but those are the powers that are ruling this, that the elite are manipulating. And they manipulate the things that are most important. Now, I have a conundrum I want to run by you. This video is already getting to an hour and I'm running out of time. So I'm going to wrap this up with this. We understand the Christ is the chryso. It's the chryso oil that comes from the pineal gland when you open your third eye. So if the thalamus is the Christ that activates the pineal gland, that chryso oil, what is the Antichrist? Is it the adrenal gland? Is it having the root chakra orgasm or the crown chakra orgasm? Which one is it? The Antichrist comes first. He's not real, but he imitates the Christ. He acts like he's the Savior. He acts like this is within you. This is something we must decide within ourselves. I've told you many times, I fear one thing, myself. Because when you do know yourself, you know of how good you can be and how wonderful of a creation you actually are. But you also know that we're in a duality here. And as good as you can be is as evil as you can be. Myself, I would have no mercy on this world. Don't look to me for mercy and grace. I condemn the whole damn thing. I am so against what's going on here. But I do understand it's necessary. It's a process. Alchemy is a process. Nature is a process. And we're getting there. And you don't get much lower than the abyss. So we're below rock bottom. We're not at rock bottom. Rock bottom is Virgo. We are in the abyss. At least a rock bottom is on top of the water. We are dead in the water. So we really only have one chance. And everybody's going to get that chance. Everybody gets this chance. They say it happens once in a lifetime. It can happen more than once. But it does happen at least once for everybody. Because it's what happens when you die. Well, one, there's no such thing as death. It happens when your body ceases to function. Or when your soul leaves your body. When it leaves the body. These are experiences I've had. This is not something I have read in a book. This is I remember before I was born, I've opened my third eye and I've had several near-death and out-of-body experiences. They're all different. And I also understand that depending on what chakra you're vibrating from is what you're going to, that door you're going to open. So we really need to understand the anti-chrysos, or instead of the chrysos. That way we don't open that wrong door. Because you need to know. You need to know. The projection will look very similar. When people have near-death experiences, the people they meet, or the Jesus they meet, or the angelic beings they meet. Some people meet Mother Mary. Some people have met the archons. What door did you just open? Where were you vibrating from? You want to be in that crown chakra. You want to go to heaven. You need to be in the upper chakras in the masculine aspect. You need to be in Libra. Unfortunately, Gemini, which they have perverted. Gemini in itself is not the problem. It's the perversion of Gemini. It's the perversion of it that is the problem. They flipped everything upside down, starting with that rainbow flag. That to me is the biggest problem on the planet right now, is that upside down rainbow flag. Because they've got everybody vibrating in the root chakra, in the crown chakra position. Mercury, Gemini, the first heaven, under the dome. He is the prince of the power of the air. And they're called the children of disobedience. Disobedience is no self-control. And we're seeing this everywhere. And every bit of it is because of upside-down symbolisms. These people are acting, they're NPCs, and they're acting and reacting subconsciously. So I'd like your feedback on the Antichrist or the Antichristos. If it's not coming from the upper chakras, then what is this? What is this? Because it's within us. All things are within us. So we need to know thy enemy. You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So let's put our heads together, because I've got a lot of feedback on what's the third tree in the garden, and I have yet to come to a conclusion. I think a lot of you misunderstood what I was trying to say, but nonetheless, a few of you did pick up on it and actually got what I was trying to say, because you have the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and then you have the tree of life, which would also be death, because again, duality. I get the whole trick here is to transcend duality, because all things come in threes. That's where Stoicism comes in, being detached, rising above it, being the observer, not reacting. The only way to be that, to become Stoic, is to overcome the root chakra, to not emotionally react. That was one of the first things I ever learned. It was beat into me. I had to stand there like somebody in the military being screamed at by their sergeant 24/7, and I wasn't allowed to flinch. If I'm being beat, don't cry, because it will only get worse. It was instilled in me to not emotionally react. Don't react, because the game that's being played is the Hegelian dialect of problem, reaction, solution. They cause the problem, false flag, to get you to react so they can roll out their solution. But if you don't react, they have no excuse to roll out a solution. That's why they do paid actors, because we won't act, they'll pay some actors to do the acting part so they can roll out their solution. But if you don't react, Stoicism, overcoming the root chakra, then it's you can't win or lose if you don't play the game. Don't play the game. Don't react. Just don't. You should be grateful for all things. I have a new dilemma in my life. One of the reasons I haven't made a video in over a month is because I've been hibernating in the bed on a heating pad. My dumbass thought poor Kelly got stuck under my bed. And my dumbass thought I could pick the bed up so she could get out. And I have really hurt my root chakra, the base of my spine. It was a really loud pop when it happened. And it scared me because the front of my body immediately collapsed. From my waist down, from my waist up, just collapsed. And then my legs came out from under me. So I suffered really hard the first couple of weeks. I'm still in a lot of pain. I'm doing heating pads, Epsom salt baths, the little absorbing junior stick-on stretchy things from the Dollar Tree, and eating massive amounts of kratom just to deal with the pain. It hurts to sit. It hurts to walk. I have a cane now, so I have a broken upper back, a broken lower back, and my middle area, my spleen is damaged. So my torso is really messed up right now. And I'm just now starting to adjust to it. I am learning to, I've got the pain to a manageable, to where I can function. I'm real careful about what I do. Luckily, I'm so grateful, I've had some help. I have a friend that's staying here on the weekends right now. So I've got somebody that's coming in to make sure I got what I need, carry all the heavy stuff for me, do my shopping for me, check my mail for me. So I am not, I've not had to do this on my own. The pain is mine to deal with, and me taking care of me is me to deal with. But I have had somebody here to help lighten the load and to just carry the heavy dog food and cat food and stuff. So I'm very grateful for that. I keep asking myself, well, I know why it happened to me is I'm stupid. But I didn't want her to be stuck under there. So now I fixed it so that can't happen again. She can't get back under there again. And bless her heart, she didn't even go under there on purpose. She just happened to kind of slide off her bed and roll under there in her sleep. And she wasn't going there just to be doing it. But she went in one way and trying to get out a different way. And she went in sideways trying to come out front ways. And she wasn't able to get out. I literally had to take, after she was under the bed for well over an hour before I actually pulled myself together enough to drag me up off the floor to where I could flip up my mattress and let her come from over the bed. It was, luckily I have a memory foam mattress, so that wasn't that hard, which is what I should have done in the first place. I just didn't think it through. I just thought, I'm Superman, I can lift this heavy ass bed. No, I can't. I'm 60 years old, I can't lift that bed. It tore me down. So, I have been in the bed for almost a month now, and I'm probably going to go back over there here in just a few minutes because I've been sitting here for over an hour now, and it is hurting. So I'm going to get ready to cut this short. Y'all tell me what you think about if the Christos, if the Christ, it comes from the pineal gland, then what the hell is the Antichrist? Anybody on that? All right. I'd like to thank those people who donated to my channel on my last video. I had over 6,000 views, and I got 6 donations. That's 1 in 1,000. That's phenomenal for my channel. That's amazing for my channel. So I really appreciate that more than you know, especially during this past month. Y'all know what to do. Commit your random act of kindness every day. That's banking that karma. That all pays off in upper chakra dollars. It always pays off in upper chakra winnings. Not lower chakra. You're paying it forward to your own future. Because what comes around goes around. Do commit those random acts of kindness every chance you get. Bank your karma. And remember, this channel is 100% viewer supported by viewers like you. So if my channel has helped you, won't you please help me keep bringing it to you? And I'll see you in a few days, within the week anyway. And we'll talk about 2024.